Developers often need to understand unfamiliar code bases and turn that understanding into useful documentation. CoDev is a local AI developer copilot that helps you do exactly that entirely on your device without sending code to any cloud AI service. CoDev lets you chat with a codebase, generate technical articles from that codebase, create API documentation still from that same codebase. And it also helps you produce structured documentation using the Diátaxis framework. It uses local retrieval over your project and run inference locally using OLlama with Llama 3.1. Let's walk through it. This is CoDev. Now, for you to be able to work with CoDev, you need to import a project. So you can browse a folder or just type in the paths on your local system. So I have a sample repo that is local to this CoDev local project file. So I name it sample repo, then I click on index. So when the indexing is done, you can then ask a question. So it has multiple modes: article mode, API docs, or Diátaxis for documentation. So I can say, so let me ask the question. So how does authentication works in this project? In this project, authentication is implemented using a middleware function. Now, CoDev retrieves relevant code snippets and generates a grounded response. Now, if you look at the source files, you can see that it references the actual file in the project, which helps it with traceability and reduces hallucination, which is right here. Now, let's switch the mode to API docs. And then let's ask it to do generate API docs for the authentication endpoint. This is grammar, generate, submit. Now, looking at what it provides, it includes the endpoint, the request or response structure, and inferred behavior from the code. Perfect. Now let's switch it to article mode and let's ask it to generate an article. Now let's say write a beginner friendly overview of this project. Submit. Voila. So this is actually useful for onboarding or dev use cases like creating blog posts or documentation right from the project that you want to talk about. So this is very helpful. Now the last one is this Diátaxis mode. Now, because in documentation, the Diátaxis framework has 4 different types. So if you click on Diátaxis, now it asks you what type of Diátaxis framework do you want to use. Is it tutorial? Is it auto docs? Is it explanation documentation or reference? Now, if you pick any of these one after the other, you notice that it generates everything for you. Now, I'll pick one and I will let you see how it works. So I'll choose auto, then I'll say no, let me choose tutorial, and then I'll say create a tutorial for the authentication module.
Great. Now this shows how the same code base can be transformed into different types of documentation depending on your goal. Right? For reference, for tutorial, for how to, or for reference documentation. It could be used for whichever way you want it to be, and you can refine it how you seem like. Now, this is a high level of CoDev and how it follows a standard local RAG pipeline. When indexing, it loads and filters repository files, then it splits them into chunks. It then generates embeddings locally and stores them for retrieval. And when a user submits a prompt, the query is embedded, then relevant chunks can then be retrieved. Those chunks will then be passed into a prompt template and being sent to the local model via OLAMA. Different modes use different prompt templates, which is how we get structured outputs like API docs or for the context of documentation.
Running everything locally has few advantages. Your code never leaves your machine. There is no API cost. And also, it works offline after you are done setting up, and it is easy to experiment with different models. This makes it especially useful for developers working with private repositories. So that's entirely what CoDev is, a local developer knowledge copilot that helps you understand and document code bases using on-device LLM. This project is designed to be easy to run, extend, and use as a reference for building local AI-powered developer tools. I hope you find it useful.